This is so embarrassing, man. Ref, just blow the whistle, please. Yeah, there we go. Final whistle has gone. Put an end to this torture. Honestly, man, just end the season, bro. Just end the season. End the season. Don't know why you're shaking hands with, man. I do not know. Anyway, how do I still make this match reaction kind of informative and give you my honest opinion without having without borderline crashing out? Listen, Newcastle 4, Man United 1. We deserve this defeat. Newcastle were better than us on all levels, physically, because obviously everybody knows, that Newcastle is one of the most physical teams in the league, and playing against them is always a very, very hard task, especially when they're at home. So that was the same for us today. They were better than us on all levels. Technically, I thought they were better. Like I said, physically, they were better. In terms of IQ, they were better. In terms of their finishing, they were better. And in terms of decision-making. So, yes, on all levels, Newcastle was just better than us today. And they deserve this win. So, credit to Newcastle. Yeah, man, what do I say? I'd like to start with the manager before I get to the players. I'd like to start with the manager. I know he's not going to get sacked. And personally, I don't want him sacked. Because I still believe, even though in this system, a lot of players have been exposed, a lot of players' capacities and a lot of players' flaws have been exposed, I still believe there's something to be done here. I still believe, certain players, if you keep them at the club, there's something to be done, and if you build around players like Ahmad, you build around players like Zirkzee, you build around players like Euro. I know he didn't have the best of games today, but Mazraoui, De Ligt as well. If you build around players like that, throw Bruno in there as well, because he's the captain and he's not going to leave the club anytime soon. There's something to be done, but the clear out has to happen in the summer. Honestly, the club cannot be emotional and cannot include emotions when it comes to getting rid of certain players. The clear out needs to be ruthless, and the clear out needs to be without any mercy. Show no mercy and get rid of a lot of these players. Like, I'm being completely serious. Back to the manager. Ruben Amorim, I still back him, but that doesn't mean that I can't criticize what he does. And putting some of the players in his system, knowing that they've got flaws and knowing that they're liable in terms of, they're going to mess up, it's not helping him. It's not helping him. Every week I sit here and tell you guys that I want my midfielders to be technically secure before anything. Don't care about physicality. I don't care about being 6'7" or 8'9". I don't care about all of that. Can you be technically secure? That's what I'm worried about. And that's what I care about. Because if you're not, if I was the gaffer, you're not playing. And today, that was the proof of that. That first goal does not happen if we have a competent midfielder that knows how to pass the ball properly. And I'm sorry, Ugarte's not it. I remember at the start of the season, I told you guys, I'm not too keen on this signing. I'm not saying bring him in or don't bring him in, but I'm just not sold on him, If PSG put him on the transfer list after a season, there's a reason why. And today, we saw that reason. You have a competent midfielder in there that can pass the ball properly. That first goal never happens. But as per usual, in the Premier League, we prefer physicality and hard work and all of these buzzwords. We prefer these things attached to players rather than paying attention to what a player can actually do with a football. And this is the result. Getting packed in very early into the game. And it was a fantastic goal. Don't get me wrong. Listen, the pass from Isak to Tonali. Tonali smashes it in. Wonderful volley. And you've got to say, Tonali, for me, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, bro. You know, you almost forget that this guy missed a whole year, a whole season almost of football because of what happened, you know, off the pitch. You almost forget that. And every time you see him play, you're like, rah, this is what Newcastle's been missing, you know. This is what Newcastle's been missing. Not just that. Oh, there's the goal threat. But not just that. He projects himself forward when he's got the ball. I just saw Tonali project himself forward in the 93rd minute, driving through Man United's midfield and then just passing it back casually because he wanted to, you know, win a bit of time. Or waste a bit of time, I should say. That's what a proper midfielder looks like. Yes, he's got the physicality and, you know, he's a bit aggressive sometimes in a positive way, but on top of it all, he's got technical security. Sandro Tonali can pass a ball properly, unlike a lot of Man United midfielders. That's why I rate him so highly. And for me, Sandro Tonali was very close to being my man of the match. Incredible performance from him today. Got to applaud him. Got to applaud him. And Sandro Tonali, listen, play like that for another 2-3 years and he won't be at Newcastle for too long. I promise you that. AC Milan must be crying every week watching this guy put in performance after performance after performance like this for Newcastle. They can't believe that they let him go. But back to Man United. Somehow, some way, we managed to find a way back into the game, equalise 1-1. And ironically, it's Garnacho. First goal in 28 games. And the funny thing is, he did score the goal, which was a good one. You know, side-footed it into the bottom left. Good goal. I have to give it to him. But then you look at the overall performance and you're like, this ain't it, man. This ain't it. Really and truly, you could cancel out the goal and just make it 4-0, really and truly, because, like I said, the goal was there from Garnacho, but the overall performance was just absolutely shambolic. Now, I know what people are going to say. People are going to come in the comments and, you know, give me their usual responses. Oh, Aaron, he's young. How could you go in on a 20-year-old? And how could... Let me tell you something. I checked the stats, checked some of the stats during the game, yeah? Did you know that Garnacho, 20 years of age? Yes, I agree. Cool. Did you know that last season he played 36 Premier League games? 36. Do you know what that is? But that basically means he played every game. Guess how many games he's played so far in the Premier League already? And we are in April. He's played 30 games in the Prem at the age of 20. So, bro, in two seasons, he's played over 50 Premier League games as a 20-year-old. I'm sorry, but time is not one of the things he needs. No. Because if you're going to go down the route of giving him time, then surely as a 20-year-old, you can keep him out the firing line and say, you know what, rest a little bit. We're going to bring you in here, a few minutes here, a few minutes there. That's what you do if you want to give him time, surely. But if my man's starting all of the games in the Prem, time is the last thing he needs. And regardless of his age, yeah, if you've played over 50 Premier League games in over 2 seasons, my brother, you're going to get judged accordingly. I'm sorry. You're going to get judged accordingly. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. You play over 40, 50 games in the Premier League in 2 seasons, I'm going to judge you like you're a seasoned professional. I'm sorry. And furthermore, in those 2 seasons, last season, 36 Premier League games, this season, 30 Premier League games so far. And I want you guys to put this in the comments, because this section right here, I'm going to clip that and post it on socials. I need you guys to tell me one thing that Garnacho's good at consistently last season and this season. Secondly, I'm going to need you to name me one thing that Garnacho improved on, that he wasn't good at last season, that he improved on last season. I'm waiting to see your comments. That's going to be very interesting to read. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. And don't talk about hard work. That's not a skill. Hard work is not a skill. Desire is not a skill. Passion is not a skill. I need you to name me something technical, something with the football. Because that's how I'm going to start talking to you guys now, for you guys to understand. Don't give me that he's young. He's played 30 Premier League games this season. Hey, listen, you're going to get judged accordingly, my guy. In midfield today, we were light. Eriksen was the only one that kind of looked good because of the passes that he was playing. But when you're up against Guimaraes, Joe Linton, and Tonali, bro, bro, you're asking my man to do the impossible. And he's old already. You know? Eriksen's old already. Let me mute my phone because there's too many notifications coming through. You're asking Eriksen for too much. Bro, it's a miracle he ended the game, bro. We were light in midfield, bro. Way too light. Way too light, especially against the midfield like Newcastle. We were always going to get eaten up against them. We did not, bro, let me not even talk about the front line because going forward, we didn't even disturb that Newcastle defense. They were comfortable. They were extremely comfortable. They didn't have to worry about anything today. The only time we looked kind of good was in the first 10 to 15 minutes. I'd probably say all the way to the 18th, 19th minute. And that was with Zirkzee up front. And Joshua, hold on, I'll get to that incident in a minute. Probably the most exciting chance that I saw was that 1-2, that flick from Zirkzee back to Bruno back to Zirkzee. In my opinion, he should have scored. That was probably the most exciting thing that we saw from Man United all game. And the goal. And that was it. That was it. Apart from that, Newcastle's defense didn't have to worry about anything. And that's just another proof that we play our best football and we create the best chances when Zirkzee is on. But then Zirkzee goes on and gets injured. End the season, man. Honestly, bro. End the flipping season. It's already hard enough watching Man United week in, week out. It's already hard enough for me to be watching some of the football that we play week in, week out. But the only bright spark, apart from Ahmad, who's injured, of course, the only bright spark for me was Joshua Zirkzee. And now my man's out. And he was holding his hamstrings. Brother, that's at least 4 weeks, bro. That's at least 4 weeks. And you're telling me that for the next 4 weeks, Rasmus Højlund is going to be playing 90 minutes back to back to back. Bro, end the season. Forfeit the season, bro. Send everyone on holiday, bro. Honestly, I'm being completely serious. I'm ready to check out, bro. I am ready to check out. I'm ready. Because I'm not going to be hurting my eyes, or I'm not going to let my eyes, man can't even speak properly today. I'm not going to let my eyes be hurt every single week watching Rasmus Højlund up front for Man United. I'm not going to do that to myself. No, I'm not, because you even saw when he came on, it was back to the regular schedule, whatever that is for Højlund. No impact whatsoever. No, forget, he's not got any confidence. Forget all of that. The basics. Controlling a football. Passing a football. Bro, we're talking about stuff that we learned when we're 4 or 5 years old, man. What are we talking about? What are we talking about, bro? And you're telling me that I have to watch this for 90 plus minutes for 4 weeks? Bring Cheeto, bro. Bring Cheeto. play Cheeto up front, bro. Honestly, I can't do this to myself. I'm genuinely debating whether I should watch the next Man United game with Højlund up front for 90 minutes. I'm genuinely debating. Especially if Cheeto's not on the bench. Well, I don't think he is, because there was a problem with the whole Europa League stuff and signing him up for, or putting him on the list for the Europa League. I don't know, but apparently there was an issue with that. So Cheeto's probably not going to be on the bench on Thursday. So that means Rasmus Højlund for 90 plus minutes. Jesus Christ, come and save us, please, please. Story of our life, man, but the season is a write-off, honestly. The season is a write-off. You know, when I saw the quote of, what's his name, Roy Keane, when he said, if United win the Europa League, he doesn't know if it's going to be classed as a good season. I was a bit skeptical when I read that quote. But looking back and seeing this game today, I'm like, Roy Keane might actually be right, you know? I know it's a stretch because right now we're awful. But if United do win the Europa League, is that really going to be classed as a good season? Not with the performances that I've seen this season. I don't think so. I do not think so, but oh God, the technical level of this team is on the floor. Honestly, man, we just have a bunch of workers. And as you can see, having a bunch of workers gets you 13th in the Premier League. Quality matters. And I keep repeating myself every week, but you lot just don't want to let this hard work thing go. And look at where that got us now. Look at where this got us now. Hard work, desire, passion, all of these things got us 13th in the Premier League. Meanwhile, the teams with quality are all above us. They are all above us. And people are going to say, oh, Aaron, you're singling out Garnacho again. Not just him. The defence as well today, absolutely shocking. I have to say, Diogo Dalot, how many times? Victor Lindelof still playing for Manchester United in 2025. No disrespect, by the way. Nothing's personal. It's just business. But come on, man. This is a tragedy. A tragedy, sorry, to say the least. You know, a tragedy. I could sit here and be screaming and shouting and, oh yeah, Bayindir, listen, he made an error that led to the goal. But are we really surprised? No, he's a backup goalkeeper for a reason. You know, but because Onana was so bad, and by the way, it was the right decision to drop him. I don't know why people were still debating that. Like, what? Are we serious? And to be fair, Bayindir was not having the worst of games until he made that error. You know, and a couple of hospital balls he played to Mazraoui and stuff. You know, he wasn't having the worst of games. Made a very good stop in the first half. I remember when Isak, who should have scored, by the way, you know, tried to put the ball into the back of the net. Very good save. But yeah, blessed by India, man. He did his best, tried his best today, but bruv, it's sad. Honestly, I've got a ticket for Thursday, but I'm really debating whether I should go. And shout out to the person, you know, who hooked me up with the ticket. I know the person means well. And listen, we're in this together. Come on. But I'm genuinely debating whether I should go on Thursday to OT. Bro, I don't know. I'll see how I feel when the day comes. But listen, let me know what you think, man. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think, people. That's all I can say. But like, share, comment, subscribe, people. Let's roll to 20K, and I'll see you soon. Peace.